All right. Welcome to another deep dive. We've got a really interesting one today.
Ooh, yeah.
Diving into the world of Power Query in Excel,
Oh,
specifically looking at Type.Facets.
I like it.
You sent us a little snippet focusing on a specific formula.
Uh-huh.
And looks like you're already digging into some pretty advanced data analysis techniques here.
Yeah, definitely some more advanced stuff.
Yeah, so this is going to be fun. When I think about facets, kind of think about like a diamond.
Okay.
All the different sides of a diamond, revealing all these like unique pieces of information about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good analogy for what we're going to be talking about today.
I like that.
So the snippet you sent over, it looks like this formula, Type.Facets, type is record, is the real key player here.
Yeah, that's right.
So can you break that down for us a little bit?
Yeah, so basically what this formula is doing is it's helping us kind of break down complex data types and reveal their underlying structure. So, it's kind of like having X-ray vision for your data.
I like that.
So for example, imagine you have a bunch of data about different types of fruit.
Okay.
Right? You have apples and oranges and bananas and all that.
Right.
So Type.Facets would help you see kind of the different facets of that data. So things like the name of the fruit, is it an apple? Is it an orange?
Yeah.
The color, is it red? Is it green? The size, the nutritional content, all these different things.
Wow. So this formula is really giving you like a super detailed map of your data.
Exactly.
And it's letting you like navigate and analyze it way more effectively.
Yeah, it gives you a much deeper understanding of what's actually going on in your data.
I see.
Which can be super helpful when you're trying to clean it.
Okay.
Transform it, and ultimately draw meaningful conclusions from it.
So what kind of problems can Type.Facets solve that other functions can't?
So imagine you have a column in your spreadsheet that's supposed to be full of dates. But you know how people can be, some of the entries are formatted as text, some are formatted as numbers, and some are even blank. And this kind of inconsistency, it can really mess up your analysis.
Right, yeah.
So what Type.Facets does is it acts like this detective,
okay.
right? Going through and revealing those inconsistencies by breaking down each entry and showing you its underlying data type.
I see. So it's not just about seeing what's in the data,
right,
but also understanding its form.
Exactly, yeah. And then the as record part of the formula, it basically packages all this information into a nice, neat little format that's easy to work with in Power Query.
Oh, okay. So it's like it's giving you a structured report on the data's DNA.
Exactly.
So to speak.
I like that.
Can you give me like a specific example of how this would play out in a real world scenario?
Let's say you're analyzing sales data.
Okay.
And you have a column for product categories. Right. So you run Type.Facets on that column, and you discover that some entries are categorized as like electronics, while others are labeled electronic without the "es" at the end.
Oh.
Now, to a human, it's an easy spot.
Right.
But to a computer,
it's totally different.
Those are two separate categories. And that could really skew your sales analysis.
Yeah.
You might think you're selling way less electronics than you actually are.
Right.
So Type.Facets helps you catch those inconsistencies. So you can clean your data and make sure your analysis is accurate.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I was working on a project a while back, analyzing customer feedback. And I ran into a very similar issue.
I bet.
With inconsistent data entry.
Yeah.
And if I knew about Type.Facets back then, it would have saved me so much time and frustration.
It's a lifesaver.
So it's incredibly useful for data cleaning and transformation. But what's really interesting to me is that this understanding of data facets can have a ripple effect on your entire analysis process.
Absolutely.
How so?
Well, once you know the precise structure of your data, you can start to ask more targeted questions.
Okay.
So, instead of just looking at overall sales trends, you can use Type.Facets to filter your data and analyze sales by specific product categories, customer demographics, or even the time of day that the purchase was made.
So it's not just about fixing errors. It's about unlocking a whole new level of granularity and insight.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you're getting this much more nuanced view of your data.
Wow.
And you can really start to dig deep and find some really interesting insights.
So it sounds like Type.Facets is really a game changer.
Yeah, it really is.
For anyone who's serious about data analysis in Excel.
For sure.
So we learned that it helps uncover the hidden structure of your data, fix inconsistencies, and ultimately allows you to ask more targeted questions and draw more meaningful conclusions.
That's right.
But here's a challenge for you. Try applying Type.Facets to a data set you're working with right now. I bet you'll discover some hidden insights that you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
It's amazing what you can find when you start looking at your data in new ways.
Happy exploring.